Happy Hump Day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Time Out Overtime on this, the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal, and you know the drill. If you haven't done so yet, please get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. I will forever be so grateful to you for doing so. And tell your friends the next subscriber to my podcast will be the winner. And if you are already a subscriber, you can tell them what they're going to win. Okay? All right. Where to begin? Well, as you saw in the headlines, the Lions indeed have restructured Jared Goff, and it looks like the Ravens have pulled a fast one. We'll get to that momentarily, but right now let's look at college basketball. Big Ten tournament is going on at the United Center in Chicago as we speak. Michigan and Michigan State don't play until Friday. Michigan will play at noon on Friday. Michigan State will play at 9 o'clock Friday night. We have yet to know who they will be playing. That is yet to be determined. That'll all be hashed out in the next couple of days there in Chicago. So I think that's on the Big Ten Network. I think so. If it's something different, I'll let you know Friday. But I believe those two games are on the Big Ten Network. The weekend activities on Saturday and Sunday will be on CBS. I think that's the way this is going to work out. So, how do they sit? Michigan having won the Big Ten championship, I think regardless of what I think they'll get a number one seed. We'll have to wait until the selection show, which will be at 6 o'clock Sunday night on CBS when the brackets will come out. Michigan would have to really, do they have to win a game in order to get a number one seed? I don't know. That'd be regardless of what happens, and I don't see them getting eliminated in just one game there. Even if they don't win the tournament outright, I still think they get a number one seed. As for Michigan State, they could win the tournament. I'm not saying they won't. They have a good chance of winning the tournament, but even if they were to accomplish that, I don't see them getting a number one seed. Two, maybe. Yeah, if the state wins the tournament, I can see them getting a 2 seed in one of the regions. And we'd all love to see in that conference championship game on Sunday, wouldn't we all love to see round 3 of Michigan and Michigan State? That'd be great, wouldn't it? Love to see that. Let's hope that's what happens. I got a feeling good possibility that it will. I just kind of feel it in my bones like we'll see them again on Sunday. Let's hope anyway. And that's a good possibility. As far as the Pistons go, they did have a 40-point win last night in Brooklyn over the Nets. And with the Celtics losing last night to the Spurs, they did gain a game on them. They're up by 3.5 games now, and I think the Pistons have a game in hand. The Pistons will play tomorrow night at home against a good 76ers team. And then Friday night at home against the Memphis Grizzlies, and then Sunday afternoon in Toronto. So they've got 3 games coming up in the span of 4 days here to end off the week and the weekend. So I don't know. It just seems to me like since they traded Jaden Ivey, they haven't been the same team. Does that sound plausible to you or not? I don't know. I don't know. Bickerstaff says this is simply a slump that every team goes through. Maybe it is. I don't know. As for the Red Wings, not good. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. In Florida last night, a Panther team that looks like they're almost deliberately tanking, missing 2 of their best players. Red Wings had a 3-2 lead with about 90 seconds left and didn't even get 1 point out of it. I know that's hard to fathom, but Uh, Florida pulled the goalie for the extra attacker, put a bunch of guys. There was a lot of traffic in front of the net. Somehow the puck went off as 2 or 3 different people, ended up in the net. They think, okay, well, if they go to overtime, at least they get a point out of it. 14 seconds left. Florida scored again. It looked as if they might have been offside. I don't understand why that's not reviewable. It's not. I don't know all those technicalities in the NHL now, but I thought you could go in and challenge an offside call that is or isn't made. Anyway, they lost. Didn't even get 1 point out of it. Okay. I don't think they're making the playoffs. This would be what, the 9th or 10th year in a row. They don't look like a playoff team. Yeah, they've had decent enough goaltending from Gibson. They just can't score. They don't have enough. They do not have a what am I trying to say? They don't have a real bona fide star, a 40-goal scorer. DeBrincat started out good this year, like he has the last few years, and then lately he hasn't been doing much, and nobody else has either. And I don't know that their first line center and now their second line center, Kopp is out, and I don't know when Larkin's coming back. It ain't good, not good. Tough. They've got a tough schedule too. I think they've got the Tampa Bay tomorrow night. They've got Dallas Saturday night in Dallas. Don't look good. And I'm sorry. Stevie Y, I know he went out and traded a #1 pick to get Falk. I just don't think they have enough offensive punch to make the playoffs. They do not look like a playoff team to me, and I don't think they're going to make it. Sorry, I just don't. That's the way I look at it. Let's get our commercials out of the way here. This isn't a script that I read. It's more of a testimonial on behalf of the Finish Line Family Restaurant on Carlton Road in Hillsdale, between the railroad tracks across from Aeroswift Printing. But you probably already knew that, didn't you? Everybody knows where the finish line is. There's reason for it. For more than 40 years, more than 4 decades, it's been integral part of our community, the surrounding area, because it's been the best damn sit-down restaurant you're going to find anywhere around here. Anywhere within a 30-mile radius, not even close. And I just hope you folks appreciate what we have here. You couldn't ask for anything more in a sit-down family atmosphere restaurant than the Finish Line Family Restaurant. Where to begin? Well, their hours of operation, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. They're open till 8 on Fridays with all you can eat fish. And I must remind you, on St. Patty's Day, which is a week from yesterday, next Tuesday, they will be serving until 3 p.m. corned beef and cabbage. You'll want to get in there at a relatively reasonable time because they sell out early. That's good stuff. Corned beef and cabbage. Next Tuesday, St. Patty's Day, the 17th, at the Finish Line Restaurant. As I give you the hours of operation, award-winning breakfast served all day, fast, friendly service, great family atmosphere, a lot of new specials. You got to get in there and try the beef and noodles. That's melts in your mouth, tastes like something Mom would have made. It's all good stuff, folks. I've had it all, and I can promise you, when you fuel up with food at the Finish Line Family Restaurant, you'll always finish first, and you're going to walk out of there feeling fully satisfied with a smile on your face. Great experience. I better see you there, Finish Line Family Restaurant in Hillsdale, okay? All right. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance. I want to ask you a question here. Have you got your playbook ready for Medicare, folks? Do you? Don't let healthcare costs bench you. We're calling an audible with Joe Rudin at Barrett Insurance to help you navigate Medicare and health insurance. Whether you're aging into Medicare, you're in a special enrollment period, where you're losing other coverage. Joe's got the stats and the know-how to help you score the best coverage for your needs. Plus, you get a game plan for retirement healthcare costs. Hey, what about businesses? Businesses don't get sacked. Joe's got a group health plan coverage options for you too. Give Joe a call at 517-849-1000 or check him out at www.barrettins.com. You'll find him on the corner of US 12 and M99 in downtown Jonesville. That's Joe Rudin Insurance, protecting your dreams. 517-849-1000. That's barrettins.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. Baseball. Tigers had a late lead. I'm not going to, spring training games are just what they are. They're practice games, and I'm never going to get bent out of shape over what transpires in Florida. Okay. They had a late lead today, 1-0 over the Twins. I guess the Twins scored a run in the eighth, one of the ninth to win the game 2-1. I'm not going to, no, I'll never get all bent out of shape about what's going on in Florida. When they start to count, I think that's 2 weeks from tomorrow being the 12th, 2 weeks from tomorrow night at Petco Park in San Diego, pardon me, with third school on the mound. When they start counting, well, pardon me, what's going on? When they start counting, and that's when I'll start to care. Okay, but right now I could care less. Why did they put the games on the radio? To get people a fix of hearing baseball, I suppose, and promote their product for the upcoming season. And I hope you enjoy this upcoming 2026 season, because it's going to be the last for a couple of years. I hate to beat a dead horse, but I must remind you that there won't be any baseball next year. At least not at the major league level anyway. The lockout will not affect minor league baseball. So if you need a fix, you'll have to drive down to Fifth Third Field in Toledo to watch the Mudhens. But that's next year. Okay? That's 12 months away. I'm not going to worry about that now. I guess the good news is no major injuries. Now, they have had to shut down Troy Melton. That doesn't sound good. I think eventually that sounds like Tommy John to me with an elbow issue. No. You know who has pitched well down there, though, of note, who has pitched well is Drew Anderson, the import from Korea. He's had a very good spring. And I think he'll be an integral part of the bullpen this year. And I think he'll be making spot starts for the Tigers too. And don't forget Easter Sunday night, NBC game of the week. I think it's a 7:15 Easter Sunday night, April 5th. The Tigers will be entertaining the St. Louis Cardinals. That'll be here before you know it. Before you know it, that'll be here. Okay. Quick word for Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Walnut Street. 517-610-5372, the only place to go for tech service needs. Nothing else around. You go to Quality PC downtown Hillsdale. Tim Lilly and his staff more than capable of resolving any technical issues you may have. And again, for me, this is a testimonial. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be doing this right now. Okay. No. 37 Walter Street, downtown Hill, anything at all, computers, flat screen TV, mounting, programming setup, perhaps you're changing internet providers, you need that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all, get in there and see Tim or one of his crack staff members. Resolve any issue you have, I can promise you that. 517-610-5372, or get in there and see them at 37 Walter Street. Tell them Rick and Mickey sent you. Thank you very much. So if you haven't heard, since we were last on, the Lions have a backup running back now at Isaiah Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs let him go. Their main running back now is Kenneth Walker. Is Pacheco, what is he now, 26 or 27? I think he's an ideal backup. I don't think this necessarily means that he'll be the backup. I think The Lions could, in the later rounds, they could draft a running back, or Sione Vaki might even beat him out in the preseason for that number 2 spot. This is just a 1-year deal. They've also signed Teddy Two Gloves. Teddy Bridgewater is back with the Lions for his 3rd tour of duty. He's a capable backup. He's familiar with the system, albeit it's the new coordinator, Drew Petzing. The Lions are bringing Rock Ya-Sin back for the secondary. Will they bring back Al-Quadin Muhammad? I'd like to see them do 1 or 2 things, okay? Well, maybe 1 or 3 things. I think the Lions will, in the 2nd round, I think they'll take an edge. I think they'll take an offensive lineman in the 1st round and an edge in the 2nd round. They do not have a 3rd round pick, but with all the picks they have, that doesn't mean they can move back up into the 3rd round. They've got 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. They've got 9 picks altogether. Okay. Brad Holmes has enough draft capital there to cook with that he could move back into the 3rd round if he wanted to, or even move up in the 1st round. You keep hearing the name Monroe Freely, that the huge tackle out of Georgia. The mock drafts that I'm looking at have Freely going in the top 5. And the Lions sitting at 7. They'd have to relinquish an awful lot of draft capital to move up 12 spots. I don't know. The mock I was just looking at a few hours ago had them taking one of the linemen out of Utah, Spencer Fano, I believe. Well, that's a solid pick. It has to be somebody who's capable of starting. I fully expect them to move Penei Sewell from right tackle over to left tackle. So this kid would have to, from day 1, he'd have to be the starter at right tackle. Okay. I think that's what they're going to do in the 1st round. And if it's somebody they're really smitten with, think they've got the draft capital to move up and make a move like that. I think they'll take an edge in the 2nd round. Look, Cam Jordan, 37 years old, most recently with the New Orleans Saints, was playing there when Dan Campbell was coaching down there. He had one of his most productive seasons. He had 9.5 sacks last season. Yeah, he's 37 years old. I think he's still got a year or 2 left in him yet. Bring him in, Brad, at least a 1-year deal anyway. No, I find it interesting. Al-Quadin Muhammad hasn't signed with anybody yet. There's just on the headlines, and I think there should be an investigation. The Baltimore Ravens at this time yesterday had a deal done. They were trading 2 first-round picks to the Las Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. And then late last night, we're told that Crosby, for medical reasons, the Ravens were backing out of the deal. So Crosby goes back to Las Vegas. The Ravens get their 2 first-round picks back. And immediately early this morning comes word that they have signed Trey Hendrickson to a massive 4-year deal. 4 years, I think 112 million. What is that? 28 million a year. But that's not as much as the massive contract that Jalen Phillips signed for 30 million a year. Where is the money? Where is all this money coming from? Really, where is all this money coming from? Daniel Jones wanted 50 million a year. He's going to get it at least for 1 year anyway. He signed a 2-year deal with the Colts. He's going back to the Colts for what, 80 some million? He's getting 50 million of that this coming season. Where in the world is this money coming from? If nothing else, I think though there should be an investigation on what the Ravens just pulled off. Unless this was their way of getting back at the Raiders for signing Tyler Linderbaum, who left them to sign with the Ravens. Was this their way of getting back at Las Vegas? Pulling a fast one like this? I think there should be an investigation done, but good Lord, where does all the money come from? They're throwing money around right and left like they're printing it somewhere. Or it grows on trees in Roger Goodell's backyard or something. Where is it? This is pure insanity. It's hard to fathom. Millions and billions of dollars. Where does the money come from? And then you restructure contracts. And now, by restructuring Jared Goff's contracts, the Lions are freed up about $32 million in cap space. Okay. They still have some money to play with. Yeah. Brad, go out there and sign Cam Jordan to a 1-year deal. He's a good locker room guy. He's a good character guy. I think he would. I think he's more than capable of giving you a dozen double-digit sacks for this coming season. How are you going to replace Alex Anzalone? All the linebackers, all the decent free agent linebackers have already been signed. The secondary worries me. I'm really worried about that Lion defense. I want to tell you, here's so much about the Lions offensive line. Pro Football Focus, after this past season, ranked every offensive line 1 through 32. Okay, they ranked the Lions offensive line as the 12th best in the league last year, in spite of everything. The 2 Super Bowl participants, New England and Seattle, says Seattle was ranked 11, New England was ranked 15. What am I trying to say here? I'm really not as concerned about the Lions offense as I am the defense. Really, because aside from Aiden Hutchinson and Jack Campbell, I couldn't name a decent player right now, a healthy player on that defense right now. I don't know when Brian Branch is coming back off of Achilles. I don't know. Apparently, it's a chronic knee issue that Kirby Joseph has. I don't know where he's at right now, although he was at the Michigan State game last Sunday throwing T-shirts around, I guess. I didn't see it, but apparently he was in a good enough mood to do that. But I still don't know where this Terrion Arnold case in Florida is. I don't know what's going on there. We haven't heard much about that lately. DJ Reed had a good year last year until he got hurt. A hamstring, he was gone about a month. He came back, he was worthless. Wasn't very good. What am I saying? I'm more concerned about the Lions defense right now than I am the offense. Okay. I'll give you something to chew on for a couple of days. I got to get out of here. I've talked enough. I've got you caught up on everything. That's going to do it. Don't forget, every Saturday morning here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM with Jed and Eddie on the Timeout Show from 9 to 10. And I'll talk to you all again on Friday. So until Friday, I'll simply say to everyone, thanks so much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your patronage, and please treat each other with respect. So until Friday, I simply wish you all a happy hump day. And again, thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll talk to you all again on Friday. So long, everybody. Have a good night.